So in this video, I'm gonna discuss what the concept of the internet. So we will define first what is the internet. So internet is a global collection of computers networks that are linked. So by the device called routers use uh, a common sells protocols for a data. Transmissions known as TCP, IP transmission control protocols, and internal protocols. The primary purposes of Internet is to facilitate the sharing of informations. There are many different tools used in search to make a possible. Some of the more common tools include email, uh, news groups, telnets, Goppers, FTP, and the World Wide Web. Probably the most popular of the Internet tools is the World Wide Web. So the next is how does the internet work? So the internet is a governed by protocols. These are ways of encoding and decoding information. For example, browsers can read programming language such as HTML, Java, Flash, PHP, and many more. So uh, it works. It works. For example, it works when with a compatible protocols can be read by normal computers. They are called transmissions control protocols or TCP. Another thing to keep in mind, IP addresses, you may have already heard of them. These are addresses assigned for each of the internet terminals. By this, we mean that each computers, each smartphones, and each servers has its own unique and unrepeatable IP addresses. This is how easy it to track a computer to send information and also receive it. With this, we want to explain that the internet is not a accumulation of information in supermarket. It is a network of interconnected computers around the world. So millions of computers sharing information second by second. So to see to the next of types of internet connections. So first, internet connections are the means available for users to use the services offered by the internet through devices that uses computer technology such as computers, tablets, mobile phones. As the internet is a work, it can be accessed through several channels. So they have examples of different channels of we can use. First is telephone lines. It is possible to use a telephone line that is subdivided into the conventional telephone lines. It transmits signals in an analogical way, but they are currently displayed by others that offer greater benefits. Or digital by means of the use of a networks adapter that resulting computers frames are translated into the digital signals. The second one is cable or fiber optic. So it can be also be a cable connection which implements light signals instead of electrical signals that encode a greater amount of information, and it turns this cable is a matter of called fiber optics that allows to transmit data between nodes. The third one is satellite. There's also satellites connection. We are usually talking about hybrid satellites and telephone connections system to reduce congestion in terrestrial networks. So wireless networks. In turns, we can implement wireless networks which replace cables with infrared light signals or radio waves to transmit information. In short, within wireless networks, another method used is LMDS, which is acronym for Local Multipoint Distribution System and consists of high frequency radio waves. Power lines. If we talk about the power lines, we use PLC conjunction of the three words power line communications. Finally, we can use mobile telephony, which refers to communication available for cell phones to access the internet. So, how information travels on the internet. When you enter a web address in your browser, your computer sends an electronic request to your Internet Services or ISP. The ISP routes that request a domain name server DNS that will look for a match the domain name you type. For example, a cliniccloud.com, it finds a match will direct a request to the IP address of appropriate server. The request will eventually reach a web server. The server will respond by sending the request file, in a case a web page, in a series of packages. Packets are parts of file that range to 1000 to 1500 bytes. The package have headers and footers that tells computers what's in the package and how it fits in with the package to create a complete file. When the packages arrive on your computers, it assembles them to create the page you see on the screen. You may have seen the entire process is a matter of microseconds. So, who is responsible for the internet? Nobody and everybody. Unlike the telephone networks, which for years of operated by a single company in many countries, the global internet consists of thousands of interconnected networks run by services providers, individual companies, university, governments, and others. What does the internet infrastructure look like? The internet is a network of network that needs operate in the world as if they're a single thing. Like politics, the technical coordinations of the internet has these common characters. First is open, independent, run by non-profit organization, work together work together to meet the needs of everyone. This automatic regulation has been the key to successful growth of internet, its flexibility to adapt the changing needs of the future. So internet as a means of communication. First, from the point of view, the media in the internet is one of the means available transmitting information with many possibilities and with great uh, repercussions in society since the end of 20th century. The characteristic of the internet allow the presentation of information to multitude of formats such as sound, video, images, and text. It allows elements of media to combine such as radio, journalism, and televisions. One of the characteristics of internet from point of view is communication is allow the interaction between users and the medium itself. Uses of internet, the internet opens doors thousands of different services among will allow us. So search and information needs, for example, a Google. Buy variety of products, communication with family or friends, other countries or cities by video call, example, Skype and WhatsApp. Play online games such as League of Legends with people different nationalities and web browsers for the internet, example is Chrome. Belongs to the giant Google created in 2008 is one of the fastest and safest offered on the market today. This is one of the best quality navigation software currently available. It is also available free download. Internet Explorer is an older services, already discontinued but once of the market leader. Its creation dates back approximately 1995 and it was launched by leading company Microsoft. During its first decade of existence, the most widely used, presenting greatest modernity, but today has become one of its lowest despite its updates, which is why it's lost a large number of users. Mozilla Firefox. Firefox is presented the alternative launched by the company Mozilla, which caused the furor in itself conclusions in the market due to existing compatibility with both Apple and Microsoft operating system. In addition, it's fast service because it uses little memory, less hardware requirements at the time of its search, but has the best security offered on the market so far. Safari, created by Apple, perhaps one of the fastest fully compatible this brand's operating system, while the Microsoft compatible version no longer receive updates, so you don't get the performance. So this is what I did in the concept of internet. They have Earth, have signals, a PC that are connected to every gadgets that we daily use because all most of the people in Earth using social media connected to the World Wide Web and this is what I did. So we all communicated to every different gadgets in this count. So this is all about in concept of internet, and that's all. Thank you.